South Africa is reeling after a dramatic and unprecedented political turn that could redefine the future of the African National Congress, ANC. In an explosive move, General Nandomi, head of the elite task force investigating corruption within the ruling party, has personally delivered a warrant of arrest for Deputy President Paul Mashatile on charges linked to massive fraud and abuse of public funds. The scene unfolded like a political thriller filled with tension, disbelief, and the unmistakable sense that South Africa's most powerful figures are finally being forced to face the consequences of their actions. Before we dive into the shocking details, make sure to stay tuned until the end because what we uncover about the hidden transactions and internal betrayals could change how you see the ANC forever. According to confidential sources within the investigative task team, General Motsi arrived at the Union buildings under heavy security earlier this morning carrying what insiders describe as a sealed HAL judicial warrant. Witnesses reported that Mkhwanazi, known for his no-nonsense approach, walked straight into the deputy president's offices and demanded immediate access to Paul Mashatile. Moments later, the atmosphere shifted as senior officials realized what was unfolding. This was not a routine visit or a political consultation. It was the beginning of an arrest that could tear the ANC apart. One senior insider described the moment as the loudest silence in the history of government. No one dared move. No one dared speak. The warrant reportedly stems from an ongoing investigation into fraudulent state contracts, irregular tenders, and financial misappropriation that allegedly took place during Mashat's tenure in key ANC leadership roles. Documents obtained by the Special Task Unit revealed that millions of rand were funneled through front companies disguised as community development initiatives. However, a deeper audit has allegedly shown that the funds were redirected into personal and offshore accounts linked to high-ranking ANC officials, including those connected to Mkhwanazi's circle. For months, whispers of Mkhwanazi's involvement in the growing financial scandal have circulated through the corridors of power. Yet this time the evidence appears undeniable and Mkhwanazi's direct intervention signals that the investigation has entered a decisive phase. Eyewitness accounts from the Union buildings paint a vivid picture of chaos and disbelief. When Mkhwanazi confronted Marshall, the deputy president reportedly appeared stunned and demanded to know who authorized the action. But Mkhwanazi, maintaining his composure, reportedly replied, "The people of South Africa authorized it. The law authorized it." Within minutes, senior aides and security officers were seen making frantic phone calls. The news spread like wildfire and by midday, multiple media outlets were already at the scene. Mashatile was escorted from the premises for questioning, with official sources confirming that he was not detained in handcuffs but treated as a high-profile suspect pending further investigation. President Cyril Ramaphosa, who was reportedly in a meeting at the time, has remained tight-lipped about the incident. Sources close to the presidency claimed that he looked visibly shaken upon receiving confirmation that the warrant had been executed. Many believe this moment could mark a turning point in Ramaphosa's leadership, as Mashatile has long been viewed as both an ally and a political rival. His arrest could either strengthen Ramaphosa's grip on a divided ANC or ignite a full-blown civil war within the party's ranks. Political analysts have warned that the timing of this arrest, coming amid growing public anger over corruption, could trigger a series of retaliations and revelations that expose even more of the party's darker secrets. The reaction across the country has been electric. Within hours, social media platforms were flooded with hashtags like #Mashatile arrested, #Nezidalivers, and #NC collapse. Ordinary citizens tired of years of corruption scandals have hailed Mkhwanazi as a national hero, praising his courage to confront power head-on. Finally, someone is standing up to the system, one user posted on X. Mkhwanazi should be the next Minister of Justice. Another added, however, ANC insiders are not celebrating. Sources claim that a faction loyal to Mashatile has already begun strategizing a counter-response, calling the warrant politically motivated and warning that this could destabilize the party ahead of critical internal elections. What makes this case so damning are the documents and digital files now in Mkhwanazi's possession. These reportedly include email exchanges, financial spreadsheets, and bank transfer confirmations showing unauthorized transactions totaling over 480 million. Investigators believe this money was siphoned from state contracts intended for infrastructure and youth development. Instead, it was routed through shadow companies and later transferred to accounts linked to political campaign funds and private properties, some of which were allegedly traced back to Mashatile's family members. According to one senior investigator, this isn't just a corruption case. It's a blueprint of how political money laundering has been normalized inside the ANC. As word spreads of the arrest warrant, panic and confusion ripple through the ANC's upper echelons. Senior figures are reportedly meeting in emergency sessions, debating how to respond. Some are calling for Ramaphosa to suspend Mashatile immediately, while others argue that doing so would set a dangerous precedent and signal weakness. Behind closed doors, deep fractures are emerging. Party veterans who once stood by Mashatile are now quietly distancing themselves, fearing they could be next. The investigation, sources claim, is far from over, and Mkhwanazi's task force has already identified at least 4 additional high-ranking officials under active scrutiny. The once untouchable image of the ANC leadership is crumbling before the nation's eyes. Determination: no one is above the law. General Mkhwanazi has made it clear that his team's work is far from complete. In a brief statement outside the Union buildings, he declared, "We are not driven by politics. We are driven by justice. No one is above the law, not even the highest officers in this country." His words send shockwaves across the political landscape, drawing comparisons to past anti-corruption crackdowns that reshaped the course of South Africa's political history. Mashatile is expected to appear before a special investigative tribunal within days, where he will have to answer to detailed charges of fraud, money laundering, and abuse of state resources. Depending on the findings, formal criminal proceedings could follow, potentially making him the highest-ranking ANC official to face prosecution in over a decade. For South Africans, this is more than just another scandal. It's a test of whether the justice system can finally rise above political interference. The image of General Mkhwanazi walking into the Union buildings with a warrant in hand will be remembered for years. It symbolizes a moment of reckoning, not just for Paul Mashatile, but for every official who thought power could protect them from accountability. The walls are closing in, and the truth, no matter how uncomfortable, is beginning to surface. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to our channel for more breaking updates, exclusive political insights, and real-time developments on the ANC's ongoing crisis. Hit the notification bell, because the next revelation could shake South Africa even.